they're in the shallows.
Yes.
And so it kind of explains, well, where's the shark at this point? It's like, oh, it's over there killing those people.
He's busy.
So
eating an inflatable boat. But
yeah.
I mean, you could have at least just left him on the boat and then the shark takes it down in one. Like that could have been a really great scene that he just basically gets swallowed whole with the boat, just straight on down, instead of having him fall in the water for no reason, then die, then the boat goes. Like, just combine the two, and it actually could have been a great scene.
Yeah, that would work. But nope.
And it would give the shark some purpose for attacking an inanimate boat for no reason.
Yep. Like, well, I got 2 people. That boat could hold 3. Just to be sure.
Just in case. You never know. There might have been some food on board.
Are you familiar with the game Standoff?
No, I don't think so.
It's the game that Sean and Leah Thompson meet each other playing in the bar.
Yes,
Something I've never come across, heard of.
No.
A quick Google shows it's the worst game ever. Of just you stand apart, you put your hands together, you try and make the other person move their feet. That's it.
No, and see, we have some strange games in Australia, and I've never heard of that. So, if we haven't heard of it, then I don't know who has heard of it.
Think of how many established bar games there are in the world. They could have have met over darts or snooker, pool, card, anything. So pinball even. So many things they could have done. Like, nope, Standoff.
Yeah.
And Sean is the Standoff champion of the East Coast or some nonsense.
Which is a thing.
Yeah, apparently so. There's a tournament for this kind of thing. Oh dear, ridiculous. But hey, it's different. It's something that makes this film stand out, I guess.
Yeah.
In the bar scene with the most 80s waitress outfit ever seen. Neon and pink and black chevrons and a hairband.
Well, it is Florida, you know.
Yes,
that's fair.
I
think they still wear that there now. So.
It's a shame that Mark couldn't be here for this show, because he is in Florida. Yeah,
right, of course. So yeah.
Could have given us that's how they dress today. Who knows? He could be wearing that right now.
I don't think much has changed in Florida since 1983.
I should say I have been to the Florida SeaWorld. Not recently. I've seen Blackfish. Never going back. Everyone's learned. But yes. I've been here numerous times because my family we used to holiday in Florida quite a bit, and my dad loved SeaWorld. So I've been here a few times, and it's not the same anymore. It doesn't look like it didn't look like this when I went, which is a shame. But they have added a roller coaster. The Journey to Atlantis ride was pretty fun. Is my memory of SeaWorld. That and the manatees, which are my mum's favourite animal, was a manatee. And I was disappointed that there were no manatees in this film, but also happy. I don't want to see a shark eat a manatee. I don't.
I don't think they would last too long.
No. That's like junk food to a shark. Yeah,
that's the interesting thing with the dolphins, because that's actually the one part of sort of realism is that, you know, there are a lot of stories of dolphins helping humans out in open ocean, and whether that's with sharks or whether that's to help them get back to land and stuff. So like that entire part of this narrative seems to be based in some sort of realism, which is interesting in such a film that's so absurd and silly, that they would go for this realism angle of like dolphins help humans in times of trouble, and they're the real sort of heroes that get them out of it and attack the shark, and that's all based in fact. And it's like that they would inject such, I guess, realism into something that doesn't have a lot of it going on.
Yeah, well, I feel like they just wanted to have dolphins in the film, and the dolphins can help. Why not? We've got these trained dolphins that can carry people. That's also like an advertising element for SeaWorld. Come and see our dolphins that save people from great white shark attacks. Exactly. I did like they kept on highlighting nowhere in the world has a great white shark in captivity. Yeah. And it kind of felt like at the end of it they were going to have one, and come to SeaWorld, see a great white shark, but they don't. Yeah. They still don't. But when they capture the younger shark and they put it in that pool, and it dies, because there's a reason that you don't have great white sharks in captivity. Mm-hmm. They die. Mm-hmm. But they put it in a really shallow pool with quite a small wall around it, with everyone... Like, if that was a fully functioning shark that was thriving, those people would be dead.
Yes.
Just kind of lunge up.
That's the 1980s classic safety standard at a theme park. Come and stand right next to it, swimming right past you. Like that's a really smart idea. But I mean, that's the moment that the movie tries to make you feel sad. And I mean, there is some sadness in that. It is quite horrible to see, I guess, an innocent creature die. But it's like, well, it's your incompetence that killed it. You put it in basically a swimming pool. Like and it doesn't make SeaWorld look particularly good that they would think that that's a good idea.
Wait, you could spin it as like, oh, the real SeaWorld, we know not to do that. We've never tried to do that. This is Calvin Bouchard. Sure he's not a real character.
Exactly, yeah. That's not our real CEO. Our real CEO would never do something like that.
He's on board with, the torturing of orcas and things, but it's fine. Don't get into that. Cut the tape. And when the younger shark does like turn upside down, bob on the surface, which heavier than water, they think, people just kind of turn around and walk away. Like, they've been like, watching this shark drifting lazily to its death, and they're like, "Oh, it's dead. Show's over.
Yeah, exhibit's over now.
To the penguins." Oh, tourists. He says, having been one many times.
Yeah.
So the morning after the thieves are killed and Sean and Kelly get to know each other and all that, is you have like a hungover scene in I'm guessing Mike and Kate's house, apartment, whatever. And there's another kind of plot element set up, doesn't go anywhere, where they get their beepers mixed up. And there's a whole conversation of like, is my beeper your beeper? And at first I think I have to recalibrate, like, hey, what was a beeper? I just have to work that out. And then, this is going to be like, at some urgent point, someone's going to need to contact one of these two, and they're going to get the wrong beeper. And never, just not even, no beeper is shown throughout the rest of the film, I think.
That feels like one of those moments where there was a scene later on where that came into play, and someone literally just lopped it out and then completely forgot there was a reference to it earlier on, and they filmed it and kept it in the movie.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I suppose, not every line of dialogue has to lead to a plot point, but that one...
It's very specific, though, because it really would set it up later to be a point of conflict of, we need to contact him. Oh, that's right. Now the audience is remembering that they've got the wrong beepers, so that's not going to work out. But then, no.
Nope. Moving on. Yeah. And I forgot to mention at the top, this is directed. This film has something in common with Night of the Hunter, which is that its director only made one film, which Charles Lawton only directed one. That's the only similarity between the two. Joe Alves is the director of Jaws 3. He was the production designer on Jaws and Jaws 2, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Escape from New York, Free Jack. But this was his only time he directed anything. Which, how did you feel about that? Do you wish that Joe Alves had directed other things? Give him a second shot? Another franchise?
It's a very strange progression to go from production designer to director. That's not sort of a usual path, but he gave it a shot, and if he went back to being a production designer, he probably realized that was where he was better suited.
Like, he did visual effects on Disney's Sleeping Beauty. Apparently, he has a real eclectic CV.
Wow.
He's an illustrator on Forbidden Planet. He worked on a lot. He worked on Starman. He worked for Hitchcock. He did Torn Curtain. He was the assistant art director on Torn Curtain.
Wow.
So many like classic films in this guy's CV, and he directed. He's probably best known for directing Jaws 3.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Even though he was nominated for an Oscar for Close Encounters of the Third Kind for set decoration.
For production. Oh, right.
Yeah. It's a shame. Oh well.
But it's interesting to see him work with Spielberg quite closely in his early career, and then never again after Jaws 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows who that was down to? Whose choice that was? We'll never know.
I think, I mean, like, realistically, this is a film that could have directed itself. Like, it's not, and I don't think Universal would obviously particularly looking for someone to do anything with the script that they obviously decided to go with. It's like they almost would have known that it wasn't going to be this, you know, sort of heavy drama. They were going for a campier element. They were going for the 3D kitsch of it all, and you know, it's not surprising they went, well, we'll give it to someone who did the production design on the first two films. He can take over this one. And, you know, given the less than stellar reaction to 2, I'm sure they probably weren't, you know, a lot of directors lining up to take a shot at number 3.
Yeah, this I feel like if we transpose this whole franchise today, this one would have been like a straight to DVD, straight to streaming kind of one.
Yeah.
Oh, like it's the Deep Blue Sea 2 of the franchise.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Have you seen Deep Blue Sea 2 and 3, Doug?
I've seen 3, but not 2 for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened. I've seen 3, but not 2.
Well, I mean, if you're going to pick one to watch, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
On this show, we recommend watching 2 because it is fun, but it is easily the worst of the franchise, shall we say.
Right. Yeah.
But
I quite enjoyed. I was surprised that I actually enjoyed 3.
Oh, 3 is great. We loved it.
I had such low expectations, but I thought the concept was great. I thought it was and it was great location shooting as well. So if it was in South Africa, that makes sense.
It's kind of off the coast, but 2 is a very similar plot to 1, but with more baby sharks.
Right.
Which is, it's a universal setting. It's a unique setting point. It's the baby sharks roaming around corridors and things. But it was a very cheaply made film. The only name actor is Michael Beach from he's Black Manta's dad in Aquaman. He's been in a bunch of things.
Yeah,
he's like on ER.
Yeah.
He's the main villain, and he's terrific. He's eating up all of the scenery that the sharks leaving behind. And there's some phenomenal shots and some great use of. They had one corridor set that had to make do for every element of the set. So they just light it with bright red or bright green or bright blue. It's efficiently made. We talked about it for 10 consecutive weeks. So watch it once, you won't like it. Watch it 9 more times, you might.
Yes. Just like Jaws 3.
Yes. I'm glad that, well, actually, I think I would have been fine talking about this for 10 straight weeks. I think there's a lot to dig into here. So.
There's a lot to dig into here. Far more than there is with the 4th film, which you'll get to with your next episode.
Next week. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It has such a terrible reputation. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Michael Caine's in it, and I like Michael Caine. Yeah. So.
It helped Michael Caine buy a new house, I'm sure. But
I've heard the story of he hasn't seen the film, but he has seen the beach house it paid for.
Exactly. I think everyone involved in that film felt that way. I mean, that's the difference between 3 and 4. 3 has enough to keep you coming back to it. Like it's an interesting premise, and it's a great setting, and there's some great characters, and there is that campy, kitschy quality to it with the added 3D terribleness and the terrible special effects, particularly those involving 3D. 4 just doesn't have those sorts of any redeemable elements. That's the problem.
Next week's show will be 10 minutes long.
Quite possibly. 4 is one that I honestly think I've seen maybe once or twice maximum, and it's only ever been like, the first time was purposeful because I wanted to complete the series. The second time was, it was on TV maybe halfway through and decided to give it a go and see how bad, if it was as bad as I remembered, and it is.
There was not a third time.
No, there never will be.
I feel sorry for my wife because she's watching these with me, and she doesn't appreciate like bad films. I feel like she wants to watch a film that's good, and this is like,
which is fine.
The third film we've watched where within a few seconds of it opening, she's like, "Oh dear God, what now?" with the fish head bobbing around post kill, she's like, "Oh dear God." So she has no idea what she's got in store for her with Jaws 4. But yeah, we talked about Bait recently, which I think was another one that you were interested in talking about.
I do like Bait, yes.
And the opening terrible CGI shark That was another one. Like, what the hell is this? This is the worst one I've ever seen. But then the rest of Bait, pretty good. I enjoyed that greatly.
It's a genre of film that Australian cinemas should tackle more often, given sharks are an actual reality here, that, we do risk our lives constantly by going in beaches. I mean, I must say shark attacks don't happen often. If anyone's thinking of coming to Australia when that's, I think